barber shop, the Walkley Press. I remember all these shops in the 80s. There was quite a few charity shops along here. They seem to have gone. Newsagents, oh, that's always been there. Except the front looks different. So this is really the end of Walkley, to all intents and purposes. The end of the retail area, anyway. Gulistan, that was there in the 80s. Had a few curries from there. Oh, it's great to see places that are still there, because there's precious few of them. Palm Street. Welcome to Walkley. Oh, it's too hot for a pie.
I was talking about cockatoos the other day and I was like, but why is that so small? I didn't realise it's really small. Yeah,
Freedom Road. All these roads just go straight down towards the Middlewood Road area. All quite steep. No parking. No parking at all in Walkley. It's a nightmare if you live here. When I lived here though, I didn't have a car, so it didn't matter. 1 minute's walk to the bus stop. It's all I was bothered about. Plenty of coffee shops, coffee and kitchen. Don't remember this being here though. Little kind of village green area. Or maybe it was here. Don't remember it. It's always funny what you remember and what you don't. The Rose House. Not going to be sitting outside having a drink today. This place has got a history. It's closed down many times and it always seems to end up reopening and it closes down again. Oh, I forgot to say, there used to be another pub over there, just past Asda, what used to be the cinema. It used to be a pub that's gone now completely, but it's called the Freedom House. Yeah, we walked right past it. The sign's gone, it's now just a private house. One of the pubs in Walkley, there are lots of them that have been lost. Most of them are down kind of the side streets where we're not going, because it's such a steep climb back up. And on a scorcher like today, no thank you. But the Bellevue is one pub that's closed. There's a few down there. There's one called, I think, it began with F. Can't remember. Used to be a supermarket here. This was Jackson's Supermarkets back in the day. It sold everything. What's this? Is this an Indian? Oh, Lebanese cuisine. Don't remember that being here. Vito's Italian restaurant. Oh, I think that was here. Yeah. I think this was here, but it looked completely different. Industry Street, S6. Oh, it's making me hungry. Can you believe Jerry's Bakery was a video rental shop? Oh, in the days when you went out on a Friday night, you could rent a film for about 50 pence or something for the weekend. The latest Blockbuster type movies, and take it back to your house and watch it on your VHS machine and cathode ray tube telly. I was always getting into trouble there because I always forgot to rewind the tapes. And some places you had to pay a fee or a fine if you forgot to rewind the tapes. Looked like there was a shop here. It kind of must have been a shop here. There was a pet shop along here somewhere that I used to use, but I'm not sure where that was. Right here, as I said, by Hoole Street, there was a post office. Friendly little local post office with the old lady behind the counter that knew everybody's name. And it's not that long ago. It's not like we're going back to the 1940s or 50s. Walkley had a very community feel to it in the 1980s. It was very, very a real community. Everybody knew everybody's name. Prefer it if it was still a Chinese. So we're getting close now to where I used to live. Cundy Street. Another of those streets that goes all the way down, and as you can see, you get views. Because Walkley is halfway up a hill. If you stand in the right place, you get fantastic views. I remember from my attic of the house I used to live in, you get a fantastic view all the way down to where the ski slopes were. Now, I used to live down here. Oh, it's fenced off, but it was in there. Number 218 and then number 216. Don't know if you saw anything there. I seem to remember there was a gate here at one time. That seems to have disappeared. You know the problem with this, when people used to come home from pubs, they always used this passageway as a personal toilet. It was never ideal. So 218 Howard Road, where I lived between 1986 and 1991, I think, and then moved here. It's a 216. I lived here until 94. Yep, both of these houses were occupied by me. Oh wait, it brings it back. I'm all nostalgic now. 214. There was an old lady that lived here called Emily. She was really nice. As I said, everybody knew everybody. This is Hadfield Street. Don't know if you can see through to behind. Yeah, you can just see sort of some of the behind of 218 and 216. There was an outside toilet in the back, which didn't work. But there's no reason why it should have done. Oh, nice vibe to it. There, that big old house, I'm sure that was derelict in the mid-80s. I seem to remember that was completely derelict. Nobody lived in it. And right here in the 80s, well, there was an Indian restaurant just on the corner there. There was a shop that sold old chimney stacks somewhere here. And here, there was a TV repair shop. Not the one that was on the other side of the road, it was one here that sold old TVs. I think it was this one actually. Yeah, I bought a telly from there. You know, the old 24-inch solid wooden cabinet things on wheels with the sliding door on the front. That's what you got when you bought tellies back then. Cromwell Street, S6. It's getting hotter and hotter today. Now, I had a friend that lived up here on a road called Birkendale View, which you can access from the top of this hill here. Hasn't been there for decades, but kind of like to go and have a look at the house again, because I spent quite a lot of time there. But it's gated at the top, and back in the day, in the 80s, there was some kind of annual tradition that the gate at the top of Birkendale View was locked on certain bank holidays. Now I forget which one. Was it this bank holiday? Or was it a different one? I remember once walking up here carrying my VHS video recorder, taking it to my friend's house so we could duplicate some videos, and I got stopped by the police, who wanted to know where I'd got the video recorder from. Could I prove that it was mine? Name and address, etc, etc. This is back in 1986 when video thefts were absolutely rife. If you're walking around carrying a VHS machine, you would get stopped. Nowadays, I don't think the police would even know what one looked like. Fulton Road, S6, another view all the way down. Not quite as clear there, but you can see for miles. Imagine being in the attic of one of these houses here and looking out the skylight. Uninterrupted view all the way down the valley. That's what I had at 216 and 218. Both had attic conversions with skylights. Now it's just here. Oh, it's not locked. This is the top of a road called Birkendale View. I had a friend that lived down here, just around the corner, the first house on the left. Wow, how many thousands of times have I walked up and down here in the 80s and early 90s. At least I think it's the first house, maybe it's the second. Oh no, it's here, where the driveway is. Birkendale View, number 36. Birkendale View. Oh, that's the house. I'm not going to walk up the driveway, but... yeah. Big old Victorian house with a big garden. My friend Chris doesn't live there anymore. He lives in... Crooks. At least I think. We've kind of fallen out of touch. Can't find his phone number. After we get back up to this gate, it's all downhill. Whew. It is too hot to be filming really today, but the last time I was out filming was the fake festival, which was pretty much 9 days ago now. But I wanted to do a Walkley walkabout. You know, would I live in Walkley again? I've asked myself this question. I think if it wasn't for the fact that parking is atrociously bad, and the number of houses that actually have private driveways are very limited. It's mainly back-to-back terraces with just on-road parking, which is always completely stuffed all the time. You can never find a space. The chances of parking outside your own house are kind of zero. But some impressive vistas in Walkley. This used to be, well, that used to be a school in there. St Joseph's. Yeah, as far as I know, that was a school. But I think it was closed when I moved here in 1986. I think this was all closed. But it had been a school fairly recently at that point. So we're on Howard Road, well, into the bit that's kind of called Howard Hill, really. Past Saccomando, the garage that was always here. This has been a really bringing it all back walkabout for me. Being a former Walkley resident for 9 years, I did like Walkley, but at the time I didn't have a car, so that parking was never a problem. And it was a brilliant bus service. They were kind of in the mid-80s, about every 6 minutes or something into town, the 95s. And there were loads of pubs. And if you went into town and missed the last bus, it was not that far to walk home. Upperthorpe, another road that goes all the way down. So we're back in the area that some people call Commonside. Springvale Road here, S10, which goes straight across there and up to Crooks. I can't understand why the pubs are shut on a bank holiday Monday. Don't get it. There's two more pubs just up there. One that used to be called the Hallamshire House, and also the closed shop. That's up there. I'm getting hotter and hotter. Sidney Road here, the Dram shop. The Dram shop was here in the 1980s. That's got a history. I used it a few times. In fact, back in the late 90s, I actually did a website for them when I was doing websites for a living. The two pubs up there. I'll tell you what, we'll have a quick look. It's a closed shop. I read that closed down kind of a month or two ago. I don't know whether it's reopened yet. The lights are on, so maybe it has. This is the Thornbridge pub. It's a Hallamshire house, and it's open. But it's definitely too hot for a pint. The clothes shop is also open. Nice beer garden there as well, but we're not going on a pub crawl today. But these two places, again, they were my locals. I spent a lot of time in them. A lot of time. So, what did you used to live in Walkley? Have you got any memories of Walkley? Comment here if you have. If you remember when I was walking Aberdale Road, I pointed out a house that I used to live, number 675 Aberdale Road. But I only lived there for 3 months, I think it was. Don't remember much about it, but 9 years in Walkley. That's a long time. Cross over to this side of the road as we make our way back down. PAO Jewellery car park. Yeah, this always used to be their car park. At one time it was completely unrestricted because I was going to park here, but then I read that it's actually I think you have to pay or book online or something. Nothing's free anymore. Such a shame. Kaye Place, S10. Little cafe there. Coffee shops. Now this, from what I remember, used to be a supermarket. I think it was a co-op. Was there a co-op here? Yeah, I think this was a co-op. No idea what that's been since. Private road. I like these little private roads because they often yield some housing surprises. Like that little cottage. Isn't that nice? Kind of little backwaters. Well, we're nearly back where we started from. Just down there at the traffic lights. Steakhouse. That used to be an Indian takeaway. Can't remember the name of it, but used to use that quite a lot. I had a friend that lived. There was a student house here. I had a friend that lived up there. Wow. Barber Crescent. It's very quaint, isn't it? Has quaintness. Now I'm getting roasting hot. So I think I'm going to wrap this up for today. I'm definitely not going to go and do Crooks. Great window display. Love that. Love it. Your obligatory phone repair shop. Barbers, sandwiches, estate agents, Sainsbury's that was the Hadfield. Oh yes, it was. Looks a little bit different on the inside. I still love that pub. The Greek Grill House. So there's no more shops on that side of the road down there on the left. There's just these here, taking us back onto Harcourt Road. Neighbourhood Cafe. What a great name. Barbers everywhere. Oh, you know, there's more coffee shops than I thought. There never used to be any in the 80s. But I don't really remember there any cafes in the 80s. They were just pubs. But maybe I just wasn't looking for them. Alongside that big, impressive old church. Massive, isn't it? Massive. Can you imagine how busy that would have been on a Sunday morning back in the day? Probably get hundreds and hundreds of people singing. Well, the park's going to be absolutely jam-packed because it's a bank holiday. So we're not doing that. Just going to make my way back to the car. So there we go. That's pretty much Walkley, the main road through Walkley, end to end. You've seen all the shops. You've seen the kind of pubs that are left. Maybe I've captured something of the ambience. Hopefully. So as I said, the next one, I want to do a walkabout in Crooks, but I think I'm going to wait till it's a little bit cooler. I'm also going to do Broomhill, Crosspool, Nether Edgell. There's so many things I've got planned. And I'll be popping in and out of town as well, checking out Castlegate, see what's going on, and all the building works that are still in progress in the city centre as well, seeing what's happening. This is Yellow Rabbit. After a Walkley walkabout.